on to the audiobook. I think it's called Delivering Happiness.
Yep.
It's the Zappos
Yep.
book. And at the beginning, he's talking about how like they had started this first company during the internet boom. It was about selling ads. What the business is isn't really important, but he's saying like basically for the first like while they were just hiring friends, and the culture was like amazing. Like they would play every time they had a new hire, they'd do a big practical joke, and it was funny, and it was like a great way to like initiate people and all that. But then as the company started to grow really quickly, they just started hiring anybody
Once they
who
got bought
was
out.
willing.
Once they got bought out.
No, this is before
Oh
they
no,
got
yeah,
bought out.
yeah.
So once they started to grow quickly, they just started to hire anybody who would work for them. And the guy says basically that like as soon as they made that transition, he started to lose interest in working there. And so like I don't know, I think that first feeling that he's talking about there of like with all your friends and stuff like that is kind of what every company really strives for.
I feel like a lot of companies don't. I feel like that's like a new age thing.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
But I think that, and that's mostly in like the tech space because that's what everybody in Silicon Valley is
like
doing.
beanbag chairs and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
they're like, oh, we got a ping pong table.
Yeah.
And it does work, but I think that probably 90% of companies that exist just don't. They don't even think about it. They don't do it.
Yeah, you could definitely be right, but I think that it's if you want to build a big company, the best companies do. I think it's really important, and my biggest thing that I always think about is just companies always have a good culture when they're small, and problems happen when they grow and the employees grow bigger and the amount of employees grow bigger and bigger. So my question has always been, and I have never really gotten a good answer, is like, is there a way to grow a big company with a lot of employees that keeps a good culture?
Yeah.
Or not really?
Yeah.
Because I would argue, like you say, like, oh, you know, all the tech Silicon Valley, like there's a lot of big companies like Facebook and Google and stuff like that. But I would argue that they don't really have great cultures.
Often those are the actions that are required to maintain being like a good person and running a good business and taking care of your people and doing the right things are opposite of what it takes to make money today and always put profit first. You asked about hiring for culture. So I often I read a lot of books and I find that I don't usually get so many takeaways, but this one book gave me probably like 10, 15 takeaways for how we're going to change our hiring processes this year.
Yeah.
And the biggest one was he was saying that there were so many instances where they were going to hire someone and they had an interview with someone who was really qualified and they knew could make an immediate impact on their bottom line, but they chose not to hire them because they knew that they weren't a good cultural fit. And they didn't want to, and then over time that would cause the decay of the company because the biggest,
it's like Chinese water torture. That it's not like you never hire
death
a person
by 1,000 cuts.
death by 1,000 paper cuts. That's it. You never there's not a bad hire that ruins your business. There's many bad hires over a very long period of time that slowly erode the business, and then maybe it doesn't fail, but it maybe it does fail, but it definitely will never reach the potential it could have without those bad hires.
The biggest advantage that they have, that anyone has with a strong culture, is that it doesn't just become a job that you go to and then leave. It becomes a way of life. It becomes
like a family.
Your family.
It's like us. Like I want people to feel what we feel.
Yeah, basically, I think the biggest thing that's a huge thing this year is just going to be hiring, because you can train anyone.
So
right?
like hiring for culture, like what does that mean? Because like in my philosophy, when I'm hiring, I just always, the question I always ask is like, could I be friends with this person? Like, do I want to hang out with this person? Because that's basically what working for me is. It's like, I'm going to be spending a lot of time with this person. Am I okay with that?
I feel like I've been betrayed by that. I used to hire people that I felt I would like to party with or whatever, and then
party with maybe not so much. But am I okay with spending? Am I okay with spending a lot of my time day to day with this person, talking to this person, dealing with this person? Like, am I okay with that?
Yeah.
Do we get along?
I agree. So the biggest thing is to decide what your core values are,
Yeah.
And we still haven't really talked. I mean, we generally have an idea. I'm sure we'd come up with the same 3 out of 10, but they had a whole list, and it was like, I don't know if you want to pull it up, but it was something like be kind of weird and fun, wow our customers, and then there was a whole list of things. But
This is
basically,
Zappos?
yeah. So they
Okay.
had their core values,
Yeah.
and then they would ask interview questions. So they would have 2 rounds of interviews. The first round would be if they were a good fit for the role. The
Okay.
second interview,
I have them. Do you want me to read them?
yeah, in 1 sec. And the second interview would be a cultural fit interview. So it would just be around asking questions, basically to figure out where that person was on the spectrum of each core value. And
so sorry, I was looking this up. Can you repeat those for me? What were the 3 interviews? No, what were the 3 types of there was 2 types of interviews?
Yeah, so the first interview is, are you right fit for the job? And the second one is, are you a cultural fit?
Okay, cool. Okay, I thought you said there was a third one. So the 10 I guess it's core values of Zappos is deliver wow through service.
Yeah.
That's number 1. Number 2, embrace and drive change. Number 3, create fun and a little weirdness. Number 4, be adventurous, creative, and open-minded. Number 5, pursue growth and learning. 6, build open and honest relationships with communication. 7, build a positive team and family spirit. 8, do more with less. 9, be passionate and determined. And 10, be humble. Which, honestly, we should just screenshot those and make them ours. Those can all apply to essentially any service-based business. Those are great.
Pretty much.
They're awesome. I mean, create fun and a little weird, again, a little weirdness. That one, give or take, but like the rest of them are great. Like that's really good.
I think that when you take money off the table and you pay people enough, it stops becoming a driver and it becomes an afterthought. And that was something they did really well, where they would always put their employees first, and they would hope that their employees would always put their customers first. When they got bought out, generally the top, I think 15 or so executives usually get like a massive bonus. Like I think it was, I don't even know, but I think they get like double their salary basically for that year as the buyout happens. And they decided to give that whole bonus to all of the employees in the company.
Up between everybody.
And it ended up resulting in the employees getting something like a 40% jump in their salary that year. And he got all kinds of letters about how that allowed them to pay for procedures that needed to be done and take care of their family. And it was just,
of course, yeah.
There was just such a huge, the vibe is basically like, wow, this is just one example, but if they do that, 400 times a year, where you're basically showing your employees that we are here for you, then when the going gets tough, the employee is always going to go the extra mile for your customer and for your company. If they feel
like you're there for them, then they really will go the extra mile.
And that's when you get the most out of people, because they're not checking like, is it 5 o'clock?
Is it 5 o'clock? Let's look. Like, is it time for me to go home yet?
I feel like the better we do and the more money we make, the less of a scarcity mindset there is. There's a lot of
it's really an abundance now. We know that, and we can.
A lot of companies and just people like that I know will it's almost laughable, like you come up with an idea for a business and you're like,
God, I know,
but I can't talk to you about it.
I can't tell you until I need to wait a little bit. I have partners. I can't say anything yet. We don't want you to steal the idea.
It's one thing if you're like, you have, an NDA, like our friend Yoshi is like, he's literally like not able to talk about certain contracts that he has, but this is like,
if it's contractual, it's a whole different thing. I'm talking about people 100%. That come to you with a startup idea that they haven't executed on in even the smallest way.
Yeah.
And they're saying like, I have this great idea. It's the best idea, but I can't tell you about it yet because,
but just know, it's the best.
But just know it's the best, but it's so good that I can't tell you because you're going to steal it. Yeah. And it's like, those like as soon as I hear that though, and I don't know about you, but as soon as I hear that, over. I know that person's not going to make that idea happen. Because right there, they don't understand the most important part about their business, and that's that the idea is 5% and the execution is 95%.
Most good ideas don't even work.
Like when somebody tells you, and I know you for sure, I feel this and I know you do for sure. When somebody tells you that I have like a great startup idea, my first thought is not, I want to steal it. My first thought is, oh, tell me, I want to help you.
Yeah.
My first thought is like, oh, tell me about it. Let's brainstorm. Let's brainstorm. Let's see what we can do. Let's do it. But like, as soon as you get that, like, oh no, I can't tell you about it yet. You know, I'm working on some things I don't want anybody to know about it yet. It's like, well, come on, man. Like, what do you think I'm gonna do? Steal it?
Yeah. And even, and if I can steal it and make it better than you, then you probably don't deserve to
well, that's it. It's like MySpace and Facebook, right? It's like Facebook didn't steal MySpace's idea. They just did it better. And if you come up with any startup, any idea that is worth its weight, right? Like within the first year or two that you create it, you're going to have 6 competitors who have created the exact same thing as you. And you have to prove that you're the best one. Like, I mean, look at TikTok. TikTok came out, blew up, right? TikTok is huge now. Now there's like Triller and there's like a couple other ones that are trying, like nipping at its heels, because that's what happens. When you do something good, other people see it and they're like, I want to do that good thing too.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, this is Patrick. Just checking in quickly after the episode to say thank you so much for listening or watching. We really appreciate it. We've got some super cool interviews lined up in the near future. We're very excited about them, and we think they're going to bring a lot of value to a lot of people. So make sure that you subscribe on your platform of choice. We are officially available on all major podcasting platforms and on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe there and stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time.